It's time for the SP and Bushy Show. Here's your hosts, SP and Bushy.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the SP and Bushy Show. Back after a couple weeks off, and we are ready to break it down for you. It's our much-awaited NBA preview. I'm the SP. He's Bushy. Bushy, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good, man. I'm ready for the craziness. I don't know what's going to be spookier on Sunday, Halloween or me going to the Broncos Washington football team game. So I don't know what's going to be even spookier or more torture based,
Absolutely. I mean, we're definitely tortured as a fan base watching this Broncos team. It's been really rough these last 4 weeks. And, I mean, it's just so obvious that the coaching is just abysmal at this point.
It is abysmal, and, the only people that really don't care are the higher-ups. So
Exactly. And, I mean, I was talking with a coworker about it today, and it's starting to feel like this franchise that hasn't done it in our lifetime is starting to accept mediocrity as being okay. And that's not the Broncos that we're used to.
No, it's not. And I was talking this with a couple of my buddies too during the Raiders game, and they were inducting like Mike Shanahan and stuff. And like even during like Shanahan's kind of sort of down years, I mean, they still were going 8-8, 9-7, 10-6. I mean, it wasn't like, he was going like 5-12 or something like that. Or 4-13.
Yeah. I was hoping that, like, during that game, Shanahan would run down the stairs and punch out Fangio and coach the rest of the game.
There was a slight hope for me that would happen, but obviously that's not happening right now.
Or that when they inducted him, they were secretly talking about bringing him back. Because, I mean, he's a guy who could fix this offense that is just so basic right now.
It is just very basic right now, and just really just, I mean, it's just fascinating because, you expect this, and it's too on the defensive level too. Like you expect this defense to maybe get a stop once in a while, but yeah, they couldn't do anything.
Against the third string running back, Case Keenum, and 2 backup tackles.
Yeah, just couldn't get it done. Couldn't get a pass rush, I mean, it's just fascinating to see that. It's just like, all the decks aside, and he somehow still come away not very good.
They are bad. They're very bad.
They are.
And they're very poorly coached. After the Broncos-Browns game, Steve Smith had another great rant on the NFL Network post-game show. I posted that to our Twitter account. So if you missed it, go back and check that out at SP Bushy. Great rant by Steve Smith. He always seems to have them after these Thursday night games, and it's great to see.
It is always great to see, yeah, and he just always seems to have just like truth bombs, just dropping truth bombs left and right.
He is, and he sure was.
He
isn't
holding back at all.
No, he doesn't hold back at all, and it's good to hear. I mean, obviously, we have a perspective being fans, but it's also good to hear that same perspective being echoed by a future Hall of Famer.
Yes, that's always good news to figure out with that.
Absolutely. Well, Broncos obviously disappointing. Braves, though, up 1-0 in the World Series. That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news. I mean, it's just it really was kind of a sort of boring-ish game yesterday. I mean, I was watching most of the game, and it really did feel pretty boring, as much as, I want to praise him for, having like the World Series. It just felt like a really boring game. Like I just really wasn't interested in it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't, and it wasn't, the movie that we're going to discuss later on, but, we'll talk about that.
No, exactly. Yeah. But it's just great news, that the fact that the Dodgers didn't make it. So that's a good news, so we can, so, every other fan base can really trash on the Charger or trash on the Dodgers, be like, oh yeah, you guys won a World Series, but it was really a COVID year, a 60 gamer one rather than a 162 gamer.
Yeah, I mean, I think had it been 162 games, they'd have had a good chance anyway. But be that as it may, it's very good to have that little asterisk next to their win and to see them out this year.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is very good, and it's a very interesting World Series. I mean, we have to kind of wait and see. I mean, can Atlanta really kind of keep this thing going? I feel like a lot of their fan base too is expecting for the shoe to drop. I'm like, okay, when's it going to drop? Where they have like this amazing lead or something like that, and then really, when is the shoe going to drop? I mean, really, this has been a really tortured fan base that they're really expecting for the worst.
It's true. I mean, obviously, you look at the Braves dynasty, and we still haven't done our tortured fan bases. And I think we're going to have to make that list and do that maybe next week. But obviously,
we'll wait and see. Maybe we'll do it after the World Series.
Maybe we'll wait and do that. But in any event, I mean, obviously, they had this great Braves run in the 90s. They only got one World Series championship out of it. Obviously, what happened in the Super Bowl a few years ago was still also fresh on their minds, too. So I don't think as a fan of Atlanta sports, until you see Freddie Freeman lifting that trophy, that you're going to be too excited.
Yeah, until you see Freddie Freeman literally lifting his arms up with the third out of whatever game it is of their fourth win of the series. That's when they're going to be like, oh, we're actually won. What?
What did you think of former rookie Rocky Tyler Matzik coming through?
I mean, I've always equivalated bullpen pitchers to NFL kickers, really. I mean, it's just there's few that you can rely on. There's like a Justin Tucker or a Brandon McManus, but every once in a while, you have somebody like a Younghoe Koo, who doesn't really perform with one team. He goes to another team and suddenly he's a star. He can't miss or something like that. I mean, it's just really that's what I feel like with like bullpen pitchers, or really, I mean, it's just they're so few and far between good, that it's just once in a while one of these bullpen pitchers just has a great year, and then sometimes it'll probably tail off the next year. That's always the case.
Exactly. I mean, it is. I mean, it's good to see though former first round picks somehow turning it around after like 4 years in independent ball.
Yeah, it is great news just watching him play, and I'm sort of rooting for him, because he was a former Rocky, and and he's just playing really good right now, and he's being nails right now. I mean, he's coming in really tough situations right now and just being nails, especially during the NLCS. I mean, he came in first and second, really nobody out. And he came and he mowed down 3 people it really kept the Dodgers scoreless after that run, So, I mean, it's just – he really has just been nails for that bullpen, which has been shaky really throughout this season.
It's weird because what he did in that game endeared him more to Rockies fans than anything he could have ever done in a Colorado uniform, short of like a big World Series win.
Yeah, it would have been
eliminating
nice.
The Dodgers like elevates him to like a level of like
yeah, just being like nails, and just like especially with their top lineups of like Betts, Turner, Pollock, or
right,
Trey Turner and Justin Turner, kind of going in. I mean,
like I said, that is more endearing him more to Rockies fans than anything he could have done as a Rocky.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he left a lasting legacy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that was awesome. Let's see. Oh, I want to talk about something that's upsetting me since this is a sports podcast.
All right.
I want to talk about something that's upsetting me, and that was watching college football final on Saturday night, and the pundits were doing like a power rankings, and they somehow both had Ohio State in the top 5. I'm sorry, that is garbage to me. Garbage. When you have a bunch of undefeated teams, 2 of them in the same conference as Ohio State, and a team with the same record as Ohio State that beat Ohio State in Columbus. How is Ohio State the second best team in the country? I mean, Georgia's ahead of them, obviously. Cincinnati's ahead of them, obviously. One bad week against Navy, who runs such an unconventional offense and slows the game down so badly. Like, one bad week doesn't suddenly make Ohio State worse are better than Cincinnati. I'm sorry.
Well,
How
was
is Ohio
Oklahoma
State a top 5 team?
was Oklahoma on that top 4?
Yeah, Oklahoma was on that top 4.
Really? I mean, because I mean that's shocking to me. Yeah, because really
Right.
Oklahoma should probably be at least a little bit worse as far as with
Well,
my
they should be
thing, you know?
below Michigan and Michigan State, right?
Oh yeah, I feel like that too, especially with like Oklahoma, you know, because Oklahoma's really had some like really just really kind of these squeaker wins, and then obviously they really, I mean, if it wasn't for a miraculous play by their freshman quarterback, they probably would have lost to Kansas, and probably would have lost the SEC deal after that, you know, losing to Kansas like that. So I mean, it's just. I mean,
The SEC's like, nah, you just lost to Kansas. We don't want
you just lost to Kansas. You're done, you know. At least Texas will lose to SEC teams that we like, you know, or something like that.
You don't need you coming over here and losing to Vanderbilt.
I mean, that's what like the equivalent is, and it's just like, oh my God, and you just expect. I mean, it's just you expected this team to like really be good, and it's just
like they're
really,
having to pull out these squeaker wins every week, and it's like they almost took the horseshoe off of the mascot and shoved it where the sun doesn't shine, because they somehow have this horseshoe up their butt that's keeping them lucky every week. Because they should have lost 2 weeks ago to Texas, they should have lost to Kansas. Like, this team is not that impressive. I'm sorry.
It's destined for them to really be the 4th seed again, you know, like they've had been, you know, the past few years. I know last year was an exception, but like the previous 3, you know, 2-3 years where it's just like, you know, they are going undefeated, and you know they've looked good, but then really be the 4th seed and then lose to, you know, either Georgia or Alabama and get crushed too, and they lose by 40 points. Like this just feels like it's destiny again for Oklahoma. You know, kind of the same story going through as far as with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm baffled about that, and I'm baffled that Ohio State is still ranked so high. I mean, obviously you saw them in person, but the teams that they've been beating up on in recent weeks are a pretty bad Indiana team this year. I mean,
yeah, it's a pretty bad Indiana
Maryland.
team. Maryland is Maryland. I mean, they've been crushing teams, you know, to try to look good, you know, as far as with this. But we'll see in a couple of weeks, you know. I mean, when they do play Michigan State as well. I mean, I don't think Penn State is as formidable as an opponent like we saw maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for them as well. So, I mean, it's just that really, I mean, we'll have to see now, because really they can't afford to lose another game. If they lose another game, they're kind of the same boat as Alabama. If they lose another game, they're done for the playoffs right now.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know how they're considered such a highly ranked team, or how they're ranked ahead of an Oregon team that beat them on their home turf. How are like, at the end of the day, head to head is the only accurate measure of what we have between all these teams. So how is Ohio State ahead of Oregon when Oregon beat them head to head?
Well, they better
in
hope
Columbus.
I know, in Columbus too. I mean, they better hope for really. Well, I think it's too because of like the Oregon thing too. It's kind of like what Oklahoma is. They've been kind of squeaking out some wins here or there as far as with Oregon as well. I mean, but I agree with you with the head-to-head matchup.
I don't care, like, if you squeak out a bunch of wins over these bad teams, you still went to Columbus and you still won. That's all you needed to do. Like, I mean, and once again, like, okay, Ohio State beat Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland, Indiana. Where's the impressive win? Who did they beat that's impressive? Nobody.
Yeah, nobody as far as with them right now. I mean, it's just the schedule makers have been really fortunate for them. And yeah, I mean, I mean, it just really just hasn't been like a strong schedule right now. And they better pray to hope they're not they you know, fighting for that 4th seed with them in Oregon, because I feel like the people are just going to just hammer it. You know, it's just they lost. You know, Ohio State lost to Oregon. That's why we got to put Oregon number 4th or something like that. If that happens, if it's like Oregon, Ohio State fight for that 4th spot, and they somehow choose Ohio State over Oregon, we might as well just get rid of the playoff again. Just bring back the BCS system.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you honestly, I mean, if you look outside of this win against Minnesota in week 1, which was only by 2 touchdowns, by the way, so it wasn't like it was that impressive. It wasn't like a big beating. But once again, Rutgers and Indiana have a combined 0 wins in the Big Ten, combined 0-8. And if you combine Maryland, Rutgers, and Indiana, that is a combined 1-11 record in Big Ten play. 1-11.
I know.
Who was impressed by this Ohio State team?
Obviously the pundits for obviously ESPN, they obviously love. Love Ohio State. I mean, they love it.
You gotta look at the media bias. Herb Street, Ohio State guy. Joey Galloway, Ohio State guy. How are these guys that are Ohio State guys just getting to elevate Ohio State every week? They're beating up on these crap teams. Whoop-de-doo, you beat Akron 59-7. Good job, buddy.
I mean, I guess we can't talk crap because really, I mean, it's just the team that we like in Colorado can't really move the ball, and they're basically 1800s offense. So I guess we can't really talk, but
because I can talk because that's why we created this podcast. So
this is why we're bringing this. It's just like, there's no media bias with us. I mean, it's just, it's just, it's just, and the funny thing is too, is like, I graduated from a college that didn't have a football team. So it's just like, I can't, I can hate all I want, on these teams, but I do agree with you. Yeah. Oregon should always be ahead of Ohio State unless Oregon loses, really.
Absolutely.
That should always be the case.
Absolutely. Same record, head-to-head's the tiebreaker. Every other sport it is. If the NFL, same record, the team that won the head-to-head gets the tiebreaker.
Yeah, that should be the case with the tiebreaker. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But really, we'll have to see if it really does make a difference. I mean, it's just really. I mean, I just feel like it's a lot of parity this year. I mean, yeah, I know we have like Georgia and all that, but I mean, Cincinnati's probably going to take that. Unless really they really falter a little bit. I mean, Cincinnati's probably going to take one of those 3 seeds. So then you're going to have, maybe like Oklahoma and then like Ohio State, Oregon, Alabama really fighting for those.
Absolutely. But let's not rule out Michigan and Michigan State. Whichever team wins this week could have a great shot at that spot too.
Yeah. I mean, if one of those teams kind of wins out and kind of beats Ohio State there and kind of wins out and gets to the Big Ten, that could shove Alabama out of the way too. I mean, it's very interesting because really, I mean, you have 6 or 7, 8 teams really kind of making a case now that you could tell these, hey, this is the 4th team.
Which is why it should be 8 teams anyway.
Yeah, it should be 8 teams. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, but really, I mean, if Cincinnati wins every game, yes, put them in, please, put them in.
They beat Notre Dame.
Do not screw them out.
They beat Notre Dame. That's still more impressive than any Ohio State victory.
Yeah, that has been. Yeah, that they've been impressive, and they went to Navy too, which is really an unconventional offense. And really, I mean, that was really their kitchen sink game. I was watching most of that game on Saturday. That was the Navy kitchen sink game. Like they were doing a lot of stuff to really stay into that game, and Cincinnati still kind of pulled away at the end too. Like that shows how talented they are.
Right, they survived not playing their best game, and they also beat Indiana. If we're looking at records against similar opponents.
Yeah, they beat Indiana too. So Ohio State, you can't say that,
Right.
So yeah, you can't say, oh, we did this, but without saying, oh yeah, but we did this too.
That was my rant for the week. Did you have something you wanted?
At least it's more sports related rather than me with Taco Bell a couple of weeks ago. So.
Oh no, that was delightful too. I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, it was a delightful. Yeah, thankfully there's not really any commercials for any commercials that really sparked my interest like that this week.
I'm getting really tired of the Craig Robinson Pizza Hut commercials. I feel like the one of him saying he's a pineapple person now is on like 80 times a day.
Yeah, it has gotten stale. Also, Detroit style pizza is a very overrated pizza. There you go. I'm just gonna say, yeah, I just feel that way. I have been to Detroit. Then they told me, oh, you got to try this pizza. You got to try this pizza. I tried it. Meh. It's just a meh for me. Just, no. I'd rather go Chicago than Detroit. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just that's just my opinion.
I'll take Detroit-style pizza over St. Louis-style pizza, though.
Okay, there you go. Even though I haven't had any, so I'll take your word for it.
St. Louis style pizza is basically just pizza on a cracker.
So it's a very, very thin crust.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
It was like the pizzas that we made, I think, in like 5th grade. Remember, like the frozen pizzas, you know? Which is better, that or a frozen pizza?
I like the frozen pizza, honestly, if I'm being honest.
Just get a DiGiorno instead of a St. Louis style pizza.
I get a Totino's over the St. Louis style pizza. If I want a St. Louis style pizza, I'm just going to take a Ritz cracker, put some marinara sauce on it, put some mozzarella on it, some grated mozzarella, and boom, you got a St. Louis style pizza, baby. Or
so basically the equivalent is eating a Lunchable, you know, the Lunchable pizzas.
If you heat it up, yes.
If you heat it up, yeah. A Lunchable pizza if you heat it up. Boom, you get sick. So yeah, we actually have eaten cold St. Louis style pizza for years.
Pretty much, yes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but at least we get a Crunch bar or a Reese's bar, you know, at the end as well. You know, all you get is just shame and just it just sounds like you get like shame and miserable, you know, for St. Louis style pizza.
Hey, at least they have some good ice cream afterwards.
Okay. But it doesn't come with it, you know, you got to order it before. Yeah, it doesn't come with it.
Right, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move it on. It was our NBA preview. Who do you have winning the NBA championship?
You know, I got Jean Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman teaming up and have an amazing movie. That's what it is. You know, I really, we don't care. We don't care who wins. You know,
we don't care.
All I know is we just hope to God the Nuggets do. You know, if the Nuggets do it, God bless it. God bless them. If not, you know what? Screw it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about double team.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about double team. We obviously, you know, we watch our Jean Claude Van Damme movies on here, in case you haven't noticed. And we found that Double Team is on Netflix. It's this team-up movie with Jean Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman from sometime in the 90s. And basically, neither of us had seen it, so we each decided to watch it, and now we're going to break it down for you right now.
Yes, yeah, this is our NBA preview. Yes, this is how much we do dislike the NBA, that we are willing to watch a really mediocre Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Well, this is how much we like the NBA, that we would rather watch former 90s NBA star Dennis Rodman team up with Jean-Claude Van Damme for, let's just be honest, it's a very mediocre to low mediocre action movie.
Yeah, it really is. It's a mediocre action movie. I watched it again over the weekend, and it's just it was my first time watching it, and it was just like, my God, like this is bad as far as with JCB standards. You know, usually usually you kind of grade on a curve with JCVD action movies, you know, or something like that. But it's just like, even as far as that standard, it was mediocre at best.
Oh, absolutely. It is not a good movie. Let's just put it that way. But you know what? It is just something that once again, we've all seen our share of bad movies. I'm sure that anyone who watches horror movies this week, myself included, I'm a big horror movie guy. I'm going to watch a bunch of horror movies this week, and I'm sure that some of them are going to be just as much of a hate watch as this one was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't so much as like a hate watch.
It wasn't a hate watch. Yeah, it was just.
Yeah, it wasn't so much as like a hate watch, but it was just like,
I
should be watching something. I should be watching a different Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I should be watching Time Cop. I should be watching Sudden Death. I should be watching Bloodsport. I should be watching Hard Target.
Right. Or, you know, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just other, and there's other better movies on Netflix too. But there is just enough in this movie that it's like, okay, I watched it. I had my laughs. I saw it. I'm glad I saw it, and it's just ridiculousness. But
I know, yes, it's one of these. I'm glad I saw it. Probably will never see it again. Maybe 2 to 3 years from now, and it's just, you know what? I want to watch it again. Why not? You know, I'll just put it on.
I might just rewatch this review of it, so that way I save myself some time.
Just say to our future selves now, you know, don't watch this movie again.
But let's. I mean, obviously, we want to go in depth with this thing. I mean, we watched it. We each have our takes. We're each sharing it with each other for the first time because we watched it separately. I know you wrote down some notes, and then I'll piggyback with some of my thoughts if they don't come up in the notes.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Did you enjoy the title cards? Like, the title cards were kind of weird as far as with that. It was like that. I don't know how to like describe it. Those title cards were like a little bit weird as far as with that.
They were.
Yeah, like it was like that. It was like that. I can't remember what the machine was, but it's just like if you saw the title cards, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what kind of font it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels like something you get from like that really crappy locker. You put it on, or like some rich kid had it and put it on his like binder. It'd be like, this is Ted's or something like that.
Yeah, it was a weird font choice. Like, the whole, like, I guess I was expecting like, I don't know, like I was expecting more like action movie title fonts, and it wasn't that.
No, it was not. Yeah, and it sounded like it was like a dirty, gritty indie movie with like computer hackers or something like that. Like
Right,
that's what
exactly,
it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just Also, what is weird is just like, did he get the plutonium? Like, there's a bunch of plutonium, and he's just ramming a truck, like it was a demolition derby or something like that. How does it not blow up or something like that? He's dealing with like really high class plutonium, that he's stealing from Iran. And I didn't know Iran had like this amazing, four-wheeler that's just indestructible for everything.
Right, and what he's referring to, as the beginning of this movie, basically Jean Claude Van Damme is tasked, and this is like the quickest graze over of any sort of story point possible. Like, they just have one guy really quickly say, "Oh, if Jack Quinn completes this mission, he gets to retire from an office somewhere." That's literally the opening of the movie. This one guy just says that line, and then it cuts to him in Croatia stealing this truck that was stolen from the Iranians and hidden in Croatia. He steals this truck, and then he just like Bushy said, just drives on this indestructible rampage through stuff with this huge amount of plutonium on the back of this truck, allegedly.
Right, yeah, and he's ramming through cop cars. The cop cars are shooting at him. It doesn't seem like the glass is bulletproof because he's ducking. as far as with that, it's a very, very odd vehicle. Let's put it that way. It's just like, what happened to the plutonium too? Like, it just seems like, he kind of breaks it off and it goes off to like another thing. Does it? Does somebody touch it? Like, really, it's really like an unexplained action scene, really. It's just to show you that we had action, we're an action movie. Here's action.
This feels
he
like
did that one job.
This honestly feels like it was added in the last minute of the movie. Like, this feels like it was shot after the rest of the movie, and it was like, okay, well, we didn't put a car chase in this movie, so we're going to put a car chase in at the beginning and just try to make it make sense. So, because literally what happens, it's not even like, the beginning isn't even like a typical Jean Claude Van Damme beginning. Like, I think he maybe like knocks out one guard at this. Like, it's like the least guarded plutonium ever. Like, he gets in the truck very easily too.
Yeah, it's a case of like really high grade plutonium. We're talking like weapons of mass destruction plutonium, and it's just like, it's guarded by this one guy.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he didn't say, "Oh man, just 2 more weeks until I'm retired."
Yeah. It's like the Austin Powers joke. It's like one inept guard to guard this whole like truck full of plutonium.
Yeah, exactly. It was just terrible. Like, yeah. It's just,
and and then like you said, like there's like half of this truck that breaks off from like the main part that Jean Claude Van Damme's driving.
Yeah.
And is that where the plutonium was? Is it in the cab with him? Like, then what was the point of the rest of that truck? And it's never referenced again. It just shows it breaking off and then doing nothing after that. It doesn't even blow up.
He just rides off into the sunset. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna ride off into the sunset and hang out in the mountains of, I'm going to hang out in the French Alps, basically.
Right. But then he also, like, jumps this truck into, like, a train car.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, he just destroys all the lumber on this train car, and then it's just suddenly fine.
I agree with you. I think this was kind of shoehorned in. I agree, yeah, because they were like, because there really isn't a car chase scene. whatsoever again.
So, like I said, this beginning is ridiculous.
But he had to do that one job so he could retire.
Yeah. And it's not like Taken or John Wick where like he's like you could have just assumed that he was like, or even Commando, where like, okay, he just shows that like he's retired now. You could have just done any of those 3 movies, like just how like, okay, he's just a normal guy living his life. And then just had the guy come and try to recruit him back. Like, you didn't.
You're right. Yeah, that he needed that one job. Oh, he's back. Stavros is back. We need to kill him.
Stavros is back. Yeah.
Stavros.
Which once again, that's a whole thing. So yeah. So then after this beginning, like he's like making out with his pregnant wife in his pool, and then like the guy just comes in and interrupts him. And apparently, like, he's like this huge secret agent type guy with no protection or security on his house. Because, like, the secret agent guy or, like, the CIA guy who's trying to recruit him back just literally walks in the house.
Yeah, he's on this nice little – I did enjoy the house, though. Like, that's something like a nice house. Like, I'm like, man, if I ever go to, like, the French Alps or something like that, that's just something I want to go to where, wherever that is. I mean, it was just like – it looked like a nice house. I was like, man, I would love to have stayed there for like a few days.
Absolutely. I would definitely retire there if they didn't blow it up.
I know. Yeah. And it comes, it comes back and they blow it up, as far as with that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I agree with you. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, he retires, but they find him. I mean, Stavros, I feel like could have found him like very easily.
Right.
Because obviously they found him in the house, because of his wife. I mean,
right. Like Stavros apparently knew where the house was the whole time because his men are waiting there later on in the movie.
I know, yeah, and it's just it really is just like a crazy scene. I mean, it's just like, yeah, you got to get him back for just one more thing, and it's just, and and the funny part is too, he doesn't even like talk to the wife about it. Like the wife is really just like a secondary character. It's just like. Yeah, forget you. You're just here for plot convenience.
Yeah,
that's all the wife is there for.
Well, she's just there like for motivation, just for him to like. She's just there for motivation for the rest of the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, she's just there for to help the plot move along. It's like, oh, she's a prick. Yeah, never doesn't have one talk with the with like, oh no, Stavros is back. I need to destroy him.
Right. And like the guy's like, well, you can't retire until Stavros does. And he's like, okay, I guess so.
I guess so. Yeah, he's not dead yet. Okay, going forward a little bit with obviously with like the Dennis Rodman Club, I mean, I kind of thought about this. So in case if people don't know, I'm actually one of the groomsmen for Sean's wedding. Do I gotta plan out exotic scuba divers now for your bachelor party? Like they had in the club. I was kind of thought about that. I'm like, do I have to do this now?
Like, and I mean, honestly, this is like the club that Dennis Rodman's running when he goes to meet Dennis Rodman. And how he meets Dennis Rodman is that he's going to Belgium to get Stavros. And so Dennis Rodman just has all these weapons in this club. But he also has like the weirdest version of like S&M stuff going on. Like there's a bound guy in like a scuba suit below the water that's just like flailing about. And I mean, once again, like they don't just have this guy on the screen for 3 seconds. Like Jean Claude Van Damme is like staring at this guy in the scuba suit for at least a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah, and he's looking at it like going, what in the world is this?
It's not a small portion of the movie. It's not a GIF. It is a full-blown, like, it'd probably be like a 2-part TikTok if you try to make a TikTok out of it. It's just Jean-Claude Van Damme staring at this flailing underwater scuba man in this weirdo S&M club. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how the city of Antwerp agreed to let this movie be filmed there. Because after seeing that weirdo club that they got going on, like I don't want to go there.
Oh yeah. And let's find the guy. I mean, it's just like we see it from like Ace Ventura. With the guy having the kind of the hacker thing inside like this death metal club. Like weirdest club. Let's put the weirdest like gunshot black market stuff. in this weird club or something like that.
That
Like,
also does tattoos because Dennis Rodman's mid-tattoo when they go get him.
That's right. Yeah, he's doing mid tattoo, and it's just, oh man. I mean, it's just like insane as well, and it's just, I don't know. It's like it's funny. Like, I thought Rodman was okay. I mean, given the part, I thought he was okay. Like, I was expecting like a really bad, kind of thing, but I thought he was okay.
He wasn't a good actor. Like, he definitely wasn't Michael Jordan in Space Jam, but he wasn't horrible. Like, I mean, it's like, okay. Like, but, like, it's just, okay, Dennis Rodman managing a weirdo sex club in Belgium. I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It was like an illegal arms spot. But then, like, okay, so him and Jean Claude Van Damme gets all these weapons from him.
Well,
like, later on in the movie, like, they end up teaming up. There's no real reason for him to team up with Jean Claude Van Damme. Like, he gave.
I know. Yeah, it's very weird. He
doesn't even really get paid, I don't think, at the end of this. Like,
yeah, he doesn't get paid at all. And then, yeah, and
like, he never.
Oh man, they're gonna come after me for this.
He's a guy that you met once. Like, Dennis Rodman in this movie is like the nicest guy ever. Because, like, he really only has met Jean Claude Van Damme one time before this. It's not like he's like best friends with the guy. Like, he met him one time.
Met him one time, but yeah.
He doesn't have any real issues with Stavros that have been discussed. Like, he just all of a sudden is like, you know what, I will help you. And then he's just like, just ends up
I'll help you find
the rest of the movie for no real reason.
Your son.
What's that?
I'll help you find your pregnant wife. Yes, totally. Yes.
Like,
yes, but he has the friends
like,
with 3 CIA bank account numbers.
And none of them work. Like,
none of them work too. Yeah, he tells them too. He's like, oh yeah, they're just fronts. Yeah, they don't work. Why did Dennis Rodman just walk in and be like, all right, so, like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
But then it's like, as soon as Dennis Rodman sees like this, like Jean Claude Van Damme's wife's ultrasound, and sees that Jean Claude Van Damme has a baby on the way, like, now all of a sudden Rodman's just like on board and like is just like this charitable saint who gives like Jean Claude Van Damme all this time.
Yeah, and then somehow they became buddy buds. That have the like a knuckle handshake or something like that. Like,
which we should probably just start doing that. Like the
this.
I don't know.
I think we should. Yeah, that should be our calling cards.
Right. Like what? But like, there's really no incentive for Dennis Rodman to really keep helping him throughout the movie. Like, maybe the CIA bank accounts was how he originally got him to do it, but it's like,
yeah, when he told him no. I mean, and it told him like no, and then there's still like 25 minutes left of the film too. I mean, it's not like he told him like during like the last action scene, we're like, oh, sorry, they were friends. Like, no, he tells him
plenty of time.
Yeah, tells him plenty of times. Like, I'm like, why are you helping this guy? This is weird. Like,
you just met him once.
And you have nothing against Stavros too. Probably Stavros supplies you with a ton of money too. He's probably a better buyer
client,
than Jean Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the basketball puns too?
That was one of my favorite parts of the film. Is like the Dennis Rodman. Oh, I only play defense. I don't play offense. So basically, like, he only waits for someone to attack him. He doesn't play offense. Which is kind of true of Dennis Rodman's NBA career. He's not known for an offensive superstar, which I think was funny.
The offense gets the glory, but defense wins the game. Like, it just, I don't know. He is sort of off. Come on, he does care about the offense a little bit, because he throws the guy through a bus window or something like that. He's like, oh, that should have been a 5-pointer. I'm like, oh my God, like that would actually, they should have changed it. I'm like, man, that felt like dunking on Pippen or something like that, or dunking on Jordan or something like that. Like, they should have stuck something in, like, oh man, that's better than dunking on Ewing or something like that, or Robinson.
Like, had him just take a shot at someone, that would have been funny.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Still a solid one-liner, I guess.
Yeah, but it's just funny too. I mean, it's just, I agree with you. Like, it's just like, and he's helping him out too. Like, he's in a suit too. Like, it's just Dennis Rodman. He's been in a wedding dress. He he looks in SMN outfits. I find the weirdest fashion design for him actually was him wearing the suit. Like it's just wearing the top hat and the suit. Like it was like the weirdest. That for me, it was just weird for me to see Dennis Rodman in that.
Well, like the pace of the movie too, it's almost questionable because like every scene, Dennis Rodman has a new color of hair. Like what?
Oh, yeah.
Like when during the movie? I mean, once again, between the first time he meets Jean Claude Van Damme and then like the second time he sees him, it's unclear how much time has passed. It could be anywhere from like 3 months. We don't know how much time passes.
Yeah, probably 2 to 3 months.
Together. So like we don't know. So, but like the next few parts of that movie seem to take place on consecutive days. So when is he having time to go and get different hair color every day?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I need the pink, you know.
I need the green today. I'm feeling green.
I need the green today. Yeah. No, you know what? You know who changed his hair? No, it's the cyber monks. Okay, it's the cyber monks. You know that he's friends with. You know, the cyber monks. You know they're hacking devices and hairstylists. That's what they are.
Right, and the cyber monks just like pop up out of nowhere in this movie too, and like they're somehow related to the colony that he was on earlier in the movie. So we're gonna backtrack here. So Jean Claude Van Damme goes to Dennis Rodman, gets the weapons from Dennis Rodman, tries to kill Stavros. Instead, ends up killing Stavros' wife and kid at an amusement park.
So yeah, let's go to a more public. Is there more of a public setting than a?
Yeah, let's.
Why can't they be somewhere private?
Tons of women and children. Also, he meets his kid at an amusement park during the rain. Like, not a lot of people, unless you're planning this vacation a long time in advance, still go to the amusement park when it's raining.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like a Disneyland or something like that. No, this is like a carnival you see on the parking lot, like an abandoned parking lot. Like that's
maybe
what it is.
Elitch's. Like
maybe Elitch's. Yeah.
No,
it's like a lakeside. That's what it is.
Right, it's like a lakeside. In any event, so like if that was the case, you'd be like, you know what? We'll just wait until it's sunny. We'll go the next day. And you're not gonna go meet your kid at this place.
And it's at night too. It's not like it's during the day or something like this. Like this is like at least probably we assume probably the summertime or something like that. I assume. So we're talking like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Like it's like.
So he kills Stavros' wife and child in this movie.
And he had a chance to kill Stavros too, like.
And doesn't do it. And then so Stavros gets away. Jean Claude Van Damme chases him, and the two of them end up fighting each other in a maternity ward.
That was good. That was probably one of the better scenes of the movie was the hospital scene.
I thought it was ridiculous. Like they're just like chucking babies at each other.
They're chucking babies.
He's using like a baby carriage to try and push Jean Claude Van Damme up against the wall and keep him from like attacking him.
Yeah, and he throws the baby in with the grenade and all that. I mean, it's just. It's crazy too, and it's just the amount of glass.
What happens to the rest of those babies?
I don't know. Lord knows, because really, I mean, it's an abandoned maternity ward, even though there's babies. I mean, it's just.
Well, yeah, but like the rest of this hospital seems almost abandoned, except for this maternity ward. And
what is with these?
There's like one guard and no nurses, and they just have like this brawl in this completely like. I've never seen a completely dark hospital. But somehow they're having like this brawl in this completely dark hospital.
Yeah, which was better guarded? You know, the Irani truck with the plutonium or this hospital? I don't know what it was.
Well, I'm gonna go with the hospital because you could maybe get away with like one inept guard at a hospital, but like the Iranian like plutonium, you would think, okay, I gotta get more people on that than
maybe get 5 or 6 people around or something like that. You know,
like Jean Claude Van Damme is allegedly like this master secret agent guy. And I'm like, it's one dude. Like, I don't know, like it's one dude. It wasn't like it was that hard for him to get out. Like they make like John Wick's final mission seem like the most impossible thing. Or they make like getting out of these lifestyles just seem like, oh yeah, you got to complete this impossible mission. Like Jean-Claude Van Damme's mission and that he accomplished was like, seemed pretty easy. All you got to do is break in, take out one inept guard, and drive a truck downhill
Yeah, downhill and then through a couple of
it wasn't even a difficult road. It didn't wind that much. It seemed like a pretty straight road.
Yeah, it wasn't like the hills and like it wasn't like the hill in like Fast 6 or Fast 7, where it's just like they're kind of in this Andes Mountains where they're having these wide turns on a dirt road in a mountain at the top or something like that. No, it seemed like a pretty straight line, pretty straightforward. You have to turn here or there, but yeah, it looked like a pretty straight route.
So anyway, like the maternity ward fight, crazy.
Also, I mean, the amount of glass broken in that scene, I mean, really, I mean, that was just crazy enough. I mean, it's just like everybody was just, they're just shooting glass, like they're throwing people through glasses, they're diving through glasses. I mean, like the amount of glass that was just broken through in that scene alone. I mean, it was just like, it was crazy. Like, it's just, maybe that's why people left, because they're like, oh, this glass is very fragile.
I guess so. In any event, so, I mean, Jean Claude Van Damme, like, gets blown up, suffers some minor injuries, wakes up on this colony, this, like, seemingly inescapable colony prison for, like, secret agents that are too valuable to kill but too dangerous to keep alive. So basically they fake his death and stick him in, like, this really nice actual retirement place for, like, secret agents. Like,
yeah, it's a nice little island,
It's really nice. They had a nice pool.
That's all we saw, really. We saw the pool and Jean Claude Van Damme's apartment. I mean, it's just that's really all we saw.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a fancy hotel room, but it's your basic king room, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it looks like a Marriott room. I mean, really, stuff you see at a Marriott or a Holiday Inn. I mean, nothing too special.
It's not a suite by any means, but it's
You would think, since you're obviously a super agent or a super terrorist, you would probably get better accommodation, but no, obviously not here. But I love his thing too. He's just like, it seemed like too he's been wanting to get out of that island since I think like day one. Like he's just like, what am I doing here? Like,
yeah.
He seems to go with it and be like, oh, okay. And then obviously he saw the stuff as far as with that, and then this global terrorist unit or something like that, anti-terrorist unit,
where they like analyze potential terrorist attacks and then decide if it's real or not or whatever.
Like if it's a front for something.
But the guy who does play like the head of like this colony thing, actually good actor, Paul Freeman. He's like the lead bad guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Ivan Ooze in the Power Rangers movie.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so he's had some experience in our lives. I mean, two of the better, more memorable, movies we loved growing up.
Absolutely. So I mean, once again, vastly underrated actor, but I mean, this role, like, I mean, it makes it sound like it's so hard to escape this island, and then like the guy like attacks him who's trying to keep him from escaping. Like they all have like a guy that they're secretly assigned to try and prevent from escaping, which also seems silly.
Yeah, like they're really, really secretive, and then obviously the Paul Freeman character, it's like, oh yeah, well, I got to go get him now. Like,
I hate to leave the island just willy nilly. Oh, okay, well, I mean, I wasn't supposed to leave, and none of us were, but now that he's gone, I'm just gonna go leave too.
I'm just gonna go leave this island and get him back.
Yeah. And that doesn't pay off at all, so there's really like no purpose in it.
It really doesn't. Yeah,
like he could have just escaped, and then they're like, "Oh, shucks."
Oh shucks, we got to keep him alive. We got to keep him dead. Really do. I mean, the lengths they go to try to keep this guy dead. I mean, it's just. But yeah, we had to see this amazing training montage where Jean Claude Van Damme does like splits and stuff, and you had to have it. And how
I mean, it goes on way too long. Like he's like he's roundhouse kicking the wall and then trying to climb the wall. Like, I mean, it's impressive, but like it's just like it goes on.
Yeah, but I feel like they do it like a couple of times too. Like it's just like, oh, okay,
it's
like
the same thing. He does the same training things, and it's not like he's getting better each time. He's still like just doing the same thing basically.
Also, does he hang out? Because obviously this happens for like 2-3 months or something like that. Obviously there's probably some spy cams. shouldn't they be watching and be like, oh, maybe we got to keep an eye on this guy, or something like that? He's doing all these stretches. He's doing like a science experiment. He's blistering his own thumb so he could get a thumbprint.
Right. He's cutting off his own thumbprint. He's roundhouse kicking the walls and climbing them. He's doing bathtub squats. Like,
yeah, he's lifting the bathtub up, with water on or something like that. He has a calendar, saying his wife's birthday. Like,
yeah,
it's just like maybe they should have kept an eye on him or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, also, does he interact with any other? I mean, really, we had that one interaction with him. Obviously, he gets in a fight with that one guy, and that's it. Like, and that doesn't get resolved at all. I mean, what happened?
I think it does. I think that was the guy who was trying to stop him from escaping, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that could be as well. But we don't see really his face.
Right. You really don't.
Yeah, you really don't. But it's just like, this is like the 3 months with the montage. Does he hang out with everybody? Does he, maybe he changes his mind a little bit. Oh my God, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
No, he's all determined. It's like, I got to save my wife.
Right. And then like, there's like a message from Stavros hidden in like this, this secret agent thing that they find.
Exactly. Yeah. You have that.
Like, basically, Stavros has to know this place exists because he basically sends him a taunt that only he would see if he's like working with the cyber monks or the colony.
Yeah, shouldn't anybody else kind of see that? With the cue, I have your wife with the butterfly thing.
I have your butterfly.
Also, doesn't the Paul Freeman character kind of have like access to like everybody else's computer? Isn't he kind of like the big brother or something like that? Wouldn't he be like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
No, he just asked, what's going on? He's like, oh, nothing.
I mean, the whole colony thing was just basically a place to stick him for 2 months so that his wife didn't have to show pregnancy weight, it seemed like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Go and have the baby and then.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just, really to me, like he doesn't really interact with anybody. Like all we just see is him training in his room. Like, does he just go back to his, like a crazy, like, does that happen as far as with that, does he hang out with anybody else or?
So then he gets out.
Does he play golf? Like what other activities are in that?
Yeah. What other activities are there on this island?
I'm really kind of curious.
What does work schedule look like?
Obviously, unless there's a global terrorist thing.
Is it like 9 to 5? Is it as needed? Like how much time a day do you have for bathtub squats? Like what? Like what's the schedule? Are there other activities besides the nice swimming pool? What else is going on there?
Oh, there's a lovely croquet set. They got a grassy knoll. Where you can kind of walk about. Where you can play badminton or something like that. And to be honest, I don't know. There's a lovely workout center too, so he's probably working out there.
Much like everything else in this movie.
Well, maybe not. Maybe the's not a workout center because obviously he's doing squats.
No, there's definitely not
squats and lift ups.
He's doing his own bathtub. But like he's also doing like holding his breath training that he does in his own bathtub as opposed to doing it in like the group pool, which I guess is him trying to be secretive about it. But in any event, it's like, well, like everything else in this movie, it's not really fully fleshed out.
Double team. Don't ask.
Yeah,
it should have been the tagline. Don't ask about anything about the plot.
Right. So then he breaks out, and he breaks out. He gets like airlifted out of there by like sneaking onto like, what is it that they're taking away from this place too?
It looks like it's like the supply stuff, for like the weekly supplies.
But they're like dropping that off. So what would they need to? You would need to drop that off, but you would need to airlift that away. So what were they airlifting away? Was it feces?
It could be. Yeah, it could be waste. It could be, maybe like old computer parts or something like that. Because they got to have all the high tech stuff.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
On this, he chucks some people out of like the airplane, which like that was kind of funny. But then he hijacks this airplane and then
parachute. He takes the guy out.
Yeah. You have a parachute? Yes. Okay, bye.
I see ya.
But then he hijacks the plane, and somehow the only person in his life that he can go visit he doesn't have any secret agent buddies. Instead, the only person he can go to is Dennis Rodman.
Well, obviously the secret agent guy's dead, so we know that.
Oh yeah, but there was no one else that he had friends. He didn't have anyone else in his life.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, maybe that Jack Quinn character was sort of a loner. Like he marches to the beat of his own drum.
I guess so. Because, like, I mean, maybe everyone else he was friends with ever died, but I don't know. But in any event, the only person that he can go to is Dennis Rodman, which, once again, Dennis Rodman, no real incentive to help him, does. Leaves his S&M dungeon for, like, who knows how many weeks.
Yeah. Well, they first go to the back to the house, which is weird, you know.
Which obviously he's gonna have people there.
Yeah, like obviously they've been waiting. Stavros' people have been waiting there for forever.
Right.
And just checking. It's just it's got a bomb, and somehow the bomb, like I don't know what I don't know. Maybe the the stuntman this time the time of explosion, because you saw it. You clearly see the plane like succumbing to this guy, but then you have another shot of him jumping out of the window with the explosion.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous, and like, I mean, as someone who has done very small amounts of green screen work, you can tell that they just flew Jean Claude Van Damme in front of a green screen when the explosion was going on. Like, it wasn't well done special effects wise, which, I mean, you know, once again, special effects have evolved, but like I said, it was cheesy.
Yeah, it was bad. It really was bad. I mean, it's just, it was bad as far as with that. And then, yeah, I mean, it's so funny too, because it's just like Jean Claude Van Damme is like, you know, it's just like, oh, you know, obviously, you know, Stavros was, you know, kind of taunting him. It's like, oh, I have your wife, and then blah blah blah. I'm staying here, blah blah blah. You know,
right. So then he finds that clue, goes to Rome now to try and get Stavros. Once again, like, Dennis Rodman's kind of like doing all like the secret agent spying work. Like Dennis Rodman with his green hair and suit, and the fact that he's a 6'10" black guy in Italy is incognito.
With the amount of piercings too. I mean, this is
right.
Dennis Rodman during like the height of probably just like 15 piercings,
right.
You know, 15 piercings anywhere.
Right. There's no situation where Dennis Rodman's going to be able to hide or blend in. He's Dennis Rodman. Like, nothing about Dennis Rodman's whole persona in life is going to blend in.
It blended in with him, and obviously wearing the suit. I'm like,
right.
He's wearing a suit, but he's so trying to blend in, you know?
Right. I'm sorry, but like, it's like the Papa John's commercial where Shaq's trying to be like an undercover boss. It's Shaq. No one's missing the fact that it's Shaq, okay?
You're right. It isn't, yeah.
Like, okay. Jean Claude Van Damme is teamed up with this guy who sticks out in any situation. But like somehow they're like sneaking around and stuff, and they figure out, okay, like they try to set this trap for Stavros in like this square.
Obviously it doesn't happen because Jean-Claude Van Damme decides to go rogue and be like, hey, that's my wife. Oh, I gotta get her. He's not being secretive at all, you know? And it's just funnier too because he's dressed up like John Lennon, like in a way, like John Lennon, like circa like 1979 or something like that. Like he has like the frizzled hair and the sunglasses. Like, I mean, it's just funny too. It's just watching him, like, and he's trying to hold on to the backpack too for some reason.
Like everyone on this square is trying to like blend in and pretend they're not like a secret agent that's about to try and shoot someone. Like you have people pretending like they're working on road construction. And you have people like pretending that they're eating lunch, and Jean Claude Van Damme's got his boombox, and he's pretending to sit there and listen to music with like punks and like stuff. And the only person who's not even trying to disguise himself is Dennis Rodman. He's just letting him fly.
Right. Yeah. This weird punk guy talking to this guy in a business suit.
It looks like Dennis Rodman, the S&M weapons dealer.
Yeah, that looks like that S&M weapons dealer. That black market weapons dealer.
And then there's like a guy who's dressed like a pope riding on horseback that just starts shooting everybody.
Yeah. I mean, he shoots everybody too, because innocent bystanders go into there like, oh! It's great too. Like, I love it. That's what I miss too.
Like, was that guy like Stavros' henchman and he was just shooting people? Or like, who was he supposed to be?
I mean, he was just spraying everywhere. Like, it was just that's what I miss in like action movies, like just random people like getting killed just because they're just unfortunately just being there, you know?
Well, like
that's what I miss.
Once again, there's like no explanation as to which side of the fence this guy's on. He could have just been some guy who like was having a really bad day at like the Catholic Church and got pissed and went over and just started shooting people. There's no explanation as to who.
Oh yeah, there was a wedding too.
Are.
Yeah, Jean Claude Van Damme gets on the horse with the wedding. There was a wedding. I forgot about the wedding.
Right. And then like the horse like falls over after he gets like shot.
That was a busy square too. You had construction workers, policemen. There was a wedding.
Yeah, like
all skating around,
getting to blend in, and like the construction workers just start shooting, and like everyone just starts shooting.
Everybody just starts shooting at everybody.
And then like another thing too, like Jean Claude Van Damme goes running after Stavros in this, and like it feels like Stavros is like always talking in like a whisper. Like I feel like I always had to like raise the volume like three notches when Stavros was talking.
Yeah, that's always kind of the case with that. But yeah,
I mean that's just, Mickey Rourke as Stavros, and I mean he's very quiet in this.
He is very quiet as far as with that, and just I mean I guess he just loves and he's just out getting revenge. I mean really, I mean he probably has more of a revenge backstory than Jean Claude Van Damme character, because it's like, okay, he's trying to get revenge on Quinn because he killed his son and wife. Like,
right. Like, honestly, Stavros, like, they talk about all of his things, but, like, they really don't make him he's not that bad of a guy.
I mean, he did put a grenade in a cradle, okay, so.
I mean, he did, but that's after he just saw his own son shot to death in front of him.
Yeah, that is true, and he did try to. I mean, yeah.
Like, I mean, they talk about what a bad guy Stavros is, but I mean, Stavros really isn't that bad of a guy because he could have killed Jean Claude Van Damme's wife like months ago.
Yeah, he could have been. Yeah, he could have been evil or something like that. Yeah, killing Jean Claude Van Damme's wife, while she was pregnant or something like that. But no, decided to take her and use it as basically as his proxy baby. Like it's just like I'm just gonna take your baby now. Like.
Right.
Of course, that is pretty darn evil too. It's like I'm just gonna take your wife.
It sort of is, but I mean, it makes sense. Jean Claude Van Damme is stuck on this island. He's never gonna get to see his kid, and like,
I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna be this art dealer.
He took Stavros' kid away from him, so I get like the motivation. It's not like he's just like he's not like that evil.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is kind of not that evil. They didn't do
enough to make me hate Stavros in this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, not enough to make me hate him as well. Like, it's just like, yeah, he hasn't committed like 50 war crimes or something like that,
Right. Like, you don't see him doing anything that bad.
No, really.
The only thing he does is blow up like the only thing you visibly see him do is blow up the CIA guy's car.
Yeah, that's really the only evil thing too. Yeah. Also, that guy was an idiot too. He locks himself out. He's like, "Oh, can't find this thing." Oh, knocks the lock button. I'm like, and it's 1997 cars. You can easily, and it looks like it's a manual car too, so you can easily lift up the lock. It's not like. Right. It's not like.
Or you roll down the window and chuck the bomb out. It looked like he had a full minute.
Yeah, it looked like he had some good time to at least chuck the bomb out or something like that and get out. No, I mean, his clumsiness, really, I mean.
And also, like, that guy's death is pretty much meaningless in this movie. Like, I said, you only had, like, 2 scenes with him. One where he's like, oh, this is Jack Quinn's last mission. And then the other one where he's like, hey, Jack Quinn, you should come back and kill Stavros for us. And then he blows up.
Oh, it's Stavros. Here's Jack Quinn's info. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm clumsily killing myself.
Right. Like, he's not, like, there's really no characterization there. It's like, okay, like, I don't care that guy just blew up.
Oh, geez.
I have no much emotional attachment to him. I was like, okay, he's just a guy.
Yeah. I mean, he was a terrible character, really. Again, he's like the pregnant wife, really. The only reason he's there is for the plot.
Right. And then, like, they kill him off just because, okay, you filled your purpose, you're gone now.
Yeah, you filled your purpose, you're gone.
Yeah. Make way for Dennis Rodman. He'll take care of it the rest of the way.
Exactly.
And then, so, like, obviously after this fight in the square, Dennis Rodman throws a guy through a bus window for his 5-point shot. And then you get, like, the best fight in the movie for me, which is, like, Jean Claude Van Damme in the hotel room against like the two guys.
Oh,
like,
that was a good one.
Sniper
yeah,
guy,
really
and then
that.
like the guy who has like somehow like taken like the ball of his foot and hidden like a knife in like the ball of his foot. Like he's trapped like a knife in his toe, so like when he tries to karate kick you, he's got a knife there.
I know, man. It was probably the best device too. Yeah, and it's just really. I mean, it was kind of predecessor to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I mean, it's just like all these kung fu moves, man. It was kind of really good. I kind of enjoyed it.
That was a good fight.
Yeah, you're right. It was probably the best fight of the movie. Really, it was probably the best action scene of the movie.
Right, absolutely. So like he fights this guy in the hotel, and like somehow he shows up at the hotel, even though it was Dennis Rodman who tracked the guy to the hotel. So I don't know if he like followed Dennis Rodman or something. It doesn't really explain how Van Damme gets there. But in any event, he does that, and then they move on. Let's talk about the finale. Oh no, the Cyber Monks first. Somehow Dennis Rodman has the connection with the Cyber Monks, who helps decipher something to then get them to like the Roman Colosseum.
Yeah, they got help too with the colony people too, because it's just somehow the colony people like him for some reason. It's like, yeah, you left this abandoned island, you know. Oh yeah, we'll help you. Here you go.
But like, yeah, even though it's
Here's
never
where your son is
socialized or was ever nice to anyone there.
Yeah, really, no interaction whatsoever. He gets in a fight with one guy. Really, the only time he really befriends somebody is really the head guy, and he's going after him. So I mean, it's not like. Yeah, and it's just like here's where Starbucks' location is. Winky face, you know. Go get him. I know. Yeah, this just I know. God help.
Hey, by the way,
also I did enjoy too that I did enjoy the Cyber Monks looking at 1997 porn. You know, so that was really fun. You know, it's just, oh, I don't know what this came on my computer.
Also, like it's never really explained how Dennis Rodman has any connection to the Cyber Monks. Maybe it was through the porn. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be, or the monks helped. He did mention it. It's like, oh yeah, I gave him like all this. Oh, he's also like a black market like computer salesman, I think too, because he gave him like all these processors. Because I think that's what he mentioned. Yeah, it's like I hooked him up with all this stuff. Cyber monks. I'm like, what don't you do?
Right.
It's like,
he's also somehow got like explosives that somehow get them out of the Cyber Monks lair into like Stavros's lair.
Yeah. He trusting on his free throws, so that was a funny joke. I enjoyed that one. You played basketball, they were kind of making fun of that.
They were. It's like, oh, I never missed twice, and then he makes it.
I never missed. I missed that. Yeah, it was great. Then he gets to the castle, helps the.
So they go to the Roman Colosseum.
Bad guys. Yeah, beats up the bad guys. And,
actually, Rodman's doing more beating up.
Actually, the monks were helping him where the wife's location was. It wasn't the Colosseum, actually. It was where his wife was located.
But then it ended up being that's right.
Yeah, because the
somehow connected to the Colosseum.
What?
But then how did they end up at the Colosseum?
The doctor told him. The doctor told her. Yeah, the doctor told him, the doctor that turns face, because Jean Claude Van Damme's like, I don't want to be killed by him or Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just and that's the last we see of the wife. Again, she's just there to help the plot move along. That's all.
She's just a baby maker. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's all she is. Just to help get the baby maker, get the baby out. Now you're not part of the plot anymore.
All right, Jean Claude Van Damme has his wife back, but now he's motivated to have a son that Stavros is going to keep. So he's going to go fight him.
Yep. Go get him. Here's this Colosseum.
Okay.
Hopefully the doctor didn't know that there was like a tiger there. Oh yeah, it's explosive with mines and tigers.
Yeah. Also, like the decision to include the tiger was very random. I feel like in the end,
it really was.
Your son got shot in front of the tiger cage. Okay, well now your son's gonna watch you get mauled by a tiger.
I bought this tiger.
I bought the tiger that you killed my son in front of. Now he's upset about it.
Also, what was more believable, him one punch knocking out the rattlesnake and hard target, or him round kicking the tiger in the face? I don't know what was more believable, animal violence.
I knew that the roundhouse kicking of the tiger would come back in. I guess
I saw it happen. I had to rewind it. I'm like, did it just roundhouse kick the tiger? And
I guess
like,
I'm gonna go with the roundhouse kicking of the tiger being more believable because like he roundhouse kicks the tiger, but the tiger's like fine. The tiger like pisses him off a little bit, but like it doesn't stop him fully. Versus like the one knockout with a snake.
It's like this too. It's like a Rock'em Sock'em robot punch too. It's not just him cocking back and hitting the it's the rocket. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's the tiger, but it's just like I wish the tiger fight was a little bit better. Yeah, maybe a little, tiger fight. I mean, Jean Claude Van Damme has fought a lot of animals. He fought a snake. He fought a tiger. He fought a penguin.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just.
What does he have against animals?
I don't know what he has against animals, but yeah, it's just real or fake. Jean Claude Van Damme likes to fight animals for some reason.
I'm surprised he didn't roundhouse kick the horse that one guy was riding.
No, that would have been great. That would have been amazing.
Like that's how he knocks the guy off of the horse. Is he roundhouse kicks the horse and the horse goes over with the guy on it.
Yeah, he's coming charging. He just roundhouse kicks him. Oh man, that would have been great.
In any event, like, so he ends up with like, and also we gotta talk about the fighting styles because Dennis Rodman's fighting style seems to be just grabbing people and throwing them.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman has like this amazing strength. Like seriously, like he's got like Hulk Hogan strength,
Yeah.
I guess hanging out with Hulk Hogan all the time, gives him like professional wrestling.
90s.
Flips, yeah.
Chuck people.
Yeah, he just chucks people.
Bus window, and then he like grabs the one guy and throws him onto the other guy at one point.
I know. That's basically his move. He's a professional wrestler move. Like
which he kind of was for a little bit.
It was, yeah, he was, but it really was. It was just very, very fascinating for that.
Absolutely. So I mean, this is just, it's the craziness, like the finale of them having this showdown at the Roman Colosseum with landmines buried, marked with crosses.
Marked with crosses, and there's a tiger.
There's a tiger. And then there's Dennis Rodman on a motorcycle, somehow moving around the crosses and like just checking stuff
somehow just maneuvering his way.
Dennis Rodman steps on a landmine, but then is able to like reattach it.
I know, yeah.
And then Stavros does it, and then despite seeing Rodman just do the same thing.
I know. Oh man, but that was great. That was great acting by Mickey Rourke too. Like he just knows he's gonna die. There's a tiger coming after him. He just has like this look like I'm dead. Like, but I'm like, he's like, I'm accepting death right now.
Yeah.
Let's hear either blown up to death or get mauled by a tiger. Like it was like pick your poison.
Absolutely. Like it was crazy. And then Dennis Rodman somehow rescues Jean Claude Van Damme's son and hides him really quickly and like.
Yeah.
In like a clear open space that the tiger could have came and ate his son.
That tiger was out for he was out for blood.
Hit him and ate that baby.
Yeah. The tiger was out for blood after he got roundhouse kicked in the face by Jean Claude Van Damme. He was like, I'm the primal instincts kicked in.
Yeah.
The primal instincts kicked in for that. But yeah, it's just really that. And I think with also a better, you got to give this movie credit. Just a better way of using product placement, really. Than with the explosion with the Coke vending machines. Somehow there's like these rows of like Coke vending machines in this old Coliseum that God knows how long this has been used. Probably they only used it for probably the running of the Bulls. That's probably the only time they use it. So it's just like these rows and rows of Coke Coke vending machines.
It's a Roman Colosseum. It hasn't been used for anything except as a historical landmark since gladiator times. And somehow there's a whole row of Coke machines. And Dennis Rodman's able to hold one up and save everybody.
And Coke, this is a Coke vending machine too. This isn't like, they weigh a ton. Like,
right. But still, who knows how long he's even in there? It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I mean, it's just one of these things. I mean, it's just like, it really is like, I guess it's like Coke is kind of the savior, I guess, in that sort of way, just Coke is amazing. Coke is a savior. Drink Coke and you'll save a life, as far as with that, just give me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just.
Coke really cashes in on the product placement, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, they just hide behind it too. And it's just obviously logic where it's just the flames just go around it. It's like, oh snap, they got a Coke vending machine. We got to go around it.
Coke and Dennis Rodman saving the day.
Coke and Dennis Rodman.
Not Dennis Rodman on Coke, but Dennis Rodman holding Coke.
Holding Coke, yes. Coca-Cola. I mean, it really was just a great use of product placement right there.
It was. That's one thing you got to give the movie. Very good use of product placement.
Yes, very good use of product placement, and just a nice ending blast explosion. Really, I mean, it was really cool. Like I enjoyed like the ending with the exploding, and somehow this Coliseum just really that has not been used and really kind of in ruins doesn't really collapse. Like, it's just. I mean, really, with you just had like this wall of, or just this rain of fire around this Coliseum, and it just doesn't crumble at all. How does it not crumble?
Who knows? Dennis Rodman saving the day, and then throws the exploding coin so that Jean Claude Van Damme can escape with his baby too.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. It's just, and there's Paul Freeman just going, "Oh, he got me again." Mm-hmm. That Jean Claude Van Damme, he got me again. I guess I'm done.
You got me this time. Oh, shucks. I guess I'll go back to my island now.
I'll go back to my island to help counter terrorism.
Anyway, it's a ridiculous movie, but I mean, there's worse times I've had.
No, there's definitely worse movies I've seen in life. I mean, we reviewed one this year, with the new Space Jam movie. So I would watch this a lot more than the new Space Jam movie.
Yeah, I'd have to say that.
Yeah. I just hope LeBron James doesn't, hopefully he doesn't watch this movie and try to think, oh, I should become an action star, with Jason Statham.
LeBron James, Jason Statham.
I want to see that now. Yes, I want to see that now. I want a LeBron James, Jason Statham action movie team up.
LeBron James is going to show up in the Expendables 4 now. He
just makes bad basketball punts. It's just like, yeah, that's what I call a run and that's what I call run and shooting.
He's gonna kill a bad guy and be like, I guess he's flopping now, huh? Who's the flopper now?
Who's the flopper now? Oh, I can't beat that.
I think that's the note to end it on.
Yeah, that is the note to end on. I can't beat that.
That's the mic drop. Thanks for watching this episode. Go back and watch all of our other episodes. Follow us at SP Bushy as we go through another week of NFL and NCAA football action. And have a happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you. Peace.